All right, well, good morning and welcome back to another edition of the Hiking Journal. Today we're taking a drive, just a short drive for me. It's actually only about 30 minutes from my house into Fallbrook, California, which is one of the avocado capitals of Southern California, in northern San Diego County. And we're heading down San Diego Creek Road right now. We're going to be going to the Santa Margarita River. And what's cool about the river, it's one of the few rivers that's free-flowing from its origin all the way to the ocean. It's, I forget what, there's a name for it. It's like free-flowing river or something, natural river or something. And what's cool about it is this year, because of all the increased rain in the area, it's probably got more water in it than it's probably seen in 20 years. So it'll be interesting. Coming up to this trailhead here pretty quick, so I gotta look out for trail signs. I think there's a parking lot right off this road, so we should be good. It's gonna be a cloudy, June gloomy day, well, May gray day. It's the last day of May today, and I don't think the sun's gonna come out down here, so it's gonna be kind of drizzly and dreary today. If we get lucky, maybe the sun will peek through. Who knows? But the thing that's nice about this hike, it's about 5.5 miles, and it's right along the river the whole way. There's really no elevation gain to speak of. It's about 500 feet or so. And the odds of finding some wildlife today are pretty high, I would think. From some of the posts I've gathered reading over the last 4 or 5 days, there's tons of poison oak, and I got to keep a lookout for that. And there's also snakes down here, quite a few snakes, all different kinds. So not only just rattlesnakes like you normally see, but there's also probably garter snakes and gopher snakes and racers and coach whips and who knows what else. But should be an interesting day today as we head down to Fallbrook to the Santa Margarita River. It's funny, I've been here before, and I actually shot a video on this. I couldn't believe it'd been 10 years. It's so close to my house, and I should come down here more often. Well, it looks like, what does this say? The sign says, Wildlands Conservancy, Santa Margarita River Trail Preserve. So it looks like this is the parking lot. What do you know? I got a nice sign. I don't remember that being here last time I was here. So let's see. I guess I can park anywhere. It's like a Ranger or something. I'll just park here in the middle. And start my day hiking on the Santa Margarita Preserve along the river. Anyway, that'll all be coming up next. Stay tuned. Well, good morning and welcome back to another edition of the Hiking Journal. Today I'm out here at the Santa Margarita River as part of the Wildlands Conservation Area. And it's going to be a great hike today. I'm going to be heading down the river trail. It's about a 5.5 mile loop. I'm going to try to do the loop because I'm going to go down about 2.5 miles or 3, and then I have to cross twice. I have to cross the Santa Margarita River. And because of the amount of water runoff and rain that we've gotten this past several months, the river is at one of the highest volumes it's been in years. A couple of weeks ago, I heard somebody had reported that the water was waist deep. So we'll see how deep it is today. Hoping to see some wildlife today and meet some interesting people along the way. So stick around. We'll be coming up next, the Santa Margarita River out here in Fallbrook, California. First thing I noticed hiking up this trail is there's a ton of poison oak. And I remember that from last time I was here. I'm actually hoping to see a snake or two today. And the likelihood is pretty good. It's about the right time of year. And it's a little overcast, so they're not going to be coming out enjoying the warm morning heat. But they don't have to be rattlesnakes. It could be any kind of snakes. And I read a report. Actually, the ranger just told me that they had a mountain lion sighting up here just like 4 or 5 days ago. He said they put a cone. Here's one of the water crossings right there. And there are some wildflowers here along the way. Nice and quiet. Here's some birds. Well, this is what they call a blue elder with the pretty yellow flowers. And this pretty purple flower is called the fiesta flower. Looks like there's a nice sandy river bottom. And they said the water crossings are marked with ribbons. So over there on the far bank, you can see the pink ribbon hanging from the tree. So that's probably where I'm going to come back to this trail on the way back today. There's a pink ribbon hanging in that tree as well. Well, since I'm down here by the river, I thought I'd share this view with you. And one of the interesting things about the Santa Margarita River is that it's one of the few free-flowing rivers from its origin all the way to the destination. So where it starts, where it's fed by alpine streams higher up in the Palomar Mountain Range and Julian, it flows downstream, gathers momentum and additional water as it heads down toward the ocean, and it flows uninterrupted. There's no dams anywhere along this route. And for that reason, it's a prime location for the steelhead trout that can work their way up from the ocean, Pacific Ocean, upstream up here to spawn. And that's one of the reasons why it's protected. You can access the water to cross at like 90 degrees, but you can't come down here and play in it. You can't inner tube, you can't kayak. You can't come out here and swim, bring your ice chest. Talk to the ranger, he confirmed all that. And but it is, boy, what a scenic spot here along the Santa Margarita River in Fallbrook. Well, I saw this side trail. It's not marked. It's leading up into the bushes. That goes to the pet cemetery. No, I'm just kidding, but it kind of looks like it, doesn't it? Look at these magnificent oak trees. And this purple flower is called a forking larkspur. And I said forking, just so you know. It's a forking larkspur. And this little lavender blooming plant is called a scorpion weed. It's got kind of an ominous sounding name for a lavender color. Well, as I'm working my way down the trail, you know, as busy as this trail is, it's pretty well maintained, but this is stuff you hate to see. Somebody left their water bottle there. And they left their dog poop bag there. Come on, people, you can do better. I took a little side trip down here. This is river crossing 10, number 10. Well, so far along the trail, I've seen quite a few interesting plants, some wildflowers of different colors, an orangish red, yellow, some blue, even some lavender. And there's been a few people on the trail. Not too many, it's pretty quiet. The river is right below me here. You can hear it probably in most of the video clips. I'm a little bit to the right and high up on the trail. So at some point I'll dip down to the river and I'll have to cross over to the other side, but I still got a ways to go. I've seen also a lot of snake tracks across the road. Haven't seen any snakes yet. I keep my eyes open. Maybe we'll get lucky today. When I first saw this, first thing that came to mind was poison oak, but it's not. There's poison oak right behind it. That's poison oak right there. But these leaves are different. I tried to look them up on the Seek Outside app. It just said brambles. That was the genus, was the family name of brambles, but it's got leaves of 3, so I'm not really sure what that is. I'll have to try to see if I can find that later. Well, here's some angry red poison oak. It's a little early in the season to be seen at this color, but happy to see this along the trail from a distance. And here is a prickly pear cactus hiding in the bushes here. And this purple flower's got kind of a funny name. It's called a hairy vetch, V-E-T-C-H. The new one on the list today. Well, when I was talking to the ranger, he said there was a spot you could cross, Rainbow Creek, where you didn't have to get wet. Well, this must be it. He said you could hop across on the rocks if you're careful. And it looks like this could very well be the place. This is about as narrow as I've seen the river at this point. There's a nice fan palm there. All right, well, let's see how good my balance is. There's poison oak here, so I got to be careful. It's a little wobbly, I got to admit. Doesn't look too bad. Whoa, that was close. All right, well, as I'm working my way to the north here, came across these interesting depressions in the granite. These are morteros. These are what the ancient Indians used to use. The women would sit here and they would grind their meal and their corn into meal to make bread. Right here along the trail. The official name of this is buffalo gourd. And you'll see gourds. We saw these on the trail over to Eagle Rock, over at Warner Springs. You'll see the flowers. They'll actually bloom and they'll blossom and they'll turn into gourds, similar to like a small cantaloupe or maybe a light green small melon. Well, I came from this direction over here, and I've come up to another entrance point to the preserve. This is Willow Creek, Willow Bend, something like that. Willow Glen trailhead is what this is called. And I'm going to be continuing this direction. I'm going to have to keep my eye out on the map, I think. Well, this is kind of interesting. I got to that Willow Bend entry point, and according to their map, it has me taking this A13 route, which is kind of counterintuitive because I'm going this direction. I need to be going that direction. So hopefully this will come to what is on the map as the Willow Glen crossing. Hopefully I'll be able to cross here and head back on the other side of the Santa Margarita River. We'll go a little ways. I got nothing else to do today. Let's see what happens. Well, I've come across this. It says, stay on trail. Mantente en el camino. River crossing, Zona de Cruz de Rio. Don't know what that means. Maybe it's in Spanish. This looks like this could be, very well be the Willow Crossing Junction. Looks pretty easy. Looks fairly deep though. I guess we can give it a shot. He says there are a couple spots. Gonna have to walk across barefooted because this is a little deeper than I imagined. I wonder how deep that is. Right there, it looks pretty deep. I guess we'll give it a shot, huh? All right, start across. Again, well, this looks a little deeper than I thought it was going to be. And this moss is actually moss-covered rocks, so it's slippery as well. I don't want to lose my balance here. And dunk my pack. Or get my boots wet. I mean, they are Gore-Tex, but... Alright. That was a little more than I bargained for. Oh, man. I have to take a minute and dry out now. Well, that little water crossing was a little more than I bargained for. I thought I could just pull my shorts up here. It was all the way up to my waist. I'm soaked all the way from here down. And the trail's confusing right here. When I crossed over, on the one map it looked like I could cross over and just parallel the river all the way back. On all trails, there's no trail here. There is a trail, and it said Vista Trail Loop. I don't see a Vista Trail Loop anywhere. So I'm just going to parallel the river. At some point, hopefully it'll work its way down. I mean, I can see it right there, so if I had to, I could just cross over, but hopefully the next spot I cross won't be waist deep. I took off my boots and my socks. That's what saved me, but my underwear, my shorts, half my shirt's soaked. Even the bottom of my backpack got just a tiny bit wet, but not too bad. I had my phone up a little higher up on the pack, so it didn't get wet, so that's good. So anyway, I'm going to continue this way, and according to the GPS, last time I looked, this was supposed to be like a 5.5 mile hike. I've already hiked 5 miles, so it's going to be a lot longer day than I thought. Well, I just came from that direction. I'm working my way down along the river here, so I'm heading to the right, straight ahead. This is the scenic Vista Loop, and I have to admit it is scenic. We have a pretty clear view of the river, but it's pretty deep right there. There's no way I could cross there. That's probably 6-10 feet deep. There are some spots that are shallower. Hopefully when I get back down toward the car, I can cross without getting wet all the way up to my waist again. Well, I've been working my way on this side of the river for a while now. Making pretty good time, but now I've come up pretty high above the river. And this is a lot harder because there are some very steep slopes. You do have a view of some of the nice houses perched on the hillsides above the river. I just passed marker 27. There's the river down there. And here's a sign for A28. And while there is a trail down there, I see a trail way off in the distance. Hopefully that's mine, because I really don't want to go up those switchbacks right there. Well, these purple flowers is a nice little patch of periwinkles. Well, hopefully I'm going the right direction. It's kind of hard to tell. The river's over there. I can hear it. The car's down that way. It's been fairly nicely maintained, believe it or not, even though I probably won't see anybody on this side of the river today. Well, this is a rather scenic section of wildflowers on the Vista Loop. You can see way down in the river bottom, just on the other side of those yellow flowers. That's the trail we took on the way out here. Looks like we're going to be working our way around this hillside. Looks like there might be a trail over there somewhere. If not, we'll be going behind the hill. Wow, would you look at the size of this oak tree? This thing is magnificent. I can only imagine how old this is. But a perfect place for a treehouse along the Santa Margarita River Trail. I'm not too far from the crossing. Well, I just crossed the A30 sign. And I was in the B section. I was at B7 earlier, so this looks like it's heading down toward the river. Finally, going up and down these grades. And it's nice to be heading down to the water. And there is a crossing on the map. I don't know if I'll take this one or I'll continue paralleling the river. I think I'm going to take whatever's easier. I don't really feel like getting my shorts wet again. We'll see. Well, the only thing that's tough about this section is that it's in soft sand. It's like walking at the beach. And after I've already hiked God knows how many miles, this is a little tough. And we're coming up on a sign here. Let's see what this says. Sandy Creek Trailhead straight ahead. Or to the left, river crossing number 8. To look that up on the map. See what kind of crossing this is. Well, at least this water crossing isn't as deep as the last one. The last one I was up to my waist. And this one's got a sandy bottom. So I can keep my boots dry without the risk of falling. And this cold water actually feels pretty good on my feet. I might just stand here for a minute and enjoy it. I can hear cars not that far away. Yeah, hopefully I can Dry my feet a little bit here. And put my boots back on. And my darn tough socks on. They've been great today. So far, these new boots, these are Scarpas. I haven't had any trouble with them at all. This is the first hike I've worn them on. I probably shouldn't have planned on doing this much of a distance with them, but so far, no hot spots or anything, so that's a good thing. And there's a sign over there that says river crossing temporarily closed, but I think that was for maybe earlier in the year because it's not near the water. It's kind of tucked up here in the bushes. So I imagine at some point earlier when the rains were heavy that this was a pretty tough water crossing, just like some of the other ones. Feels good to put on nice dry boots though. You know, if I was wearing trail runners, I would have just walked right across, but I wasn't about to do that in these new boots. So, got to get this other boot on, and then we'll finish up our hike along the Santa Margarita River. I stepped on something. I was crossing the water the first time, and I can kind of feel it. I don't know what it was. I just kind of twisted it just a little bit. Hopefully I didn't do any damage. I don't think so. I've hiked 4 or 5 miles since then. I think if it would have been something bad, I would have known more by now, and I wouldn't be able to hike like I have been over the last hour or so. So anyway, I think I'm okay. Yeah, I said I can hear the cars, so I'm not that far from the trailhead. And before I head home, maybe I'll finally brew me that cup of hot coffee I've been thinking about all day. And it looks like the sun is not going to make an appearance today at all. I was kind of hoping it did, but you know what? I'll take it. Anyway, I just got to put away my little towel here and finish the hike. Well, it looks like I made it back to the trailhead, Sandia Creek, along the Santa Margarita River. And it was a good hike today. It's a little tougher in sections. The water was a little deeper than I thought it would be. I was up to waist deep at one spot. This last crossing, the Sandy Wash crossing, that was only knee deep when I first started, and that was it. But the upper trail, the Vista loop, was a little high and dry. It was scenic, I guess, because it was a little more in the wildflowers, had a view looking downhill into the river, but there's a lot of ups and downs. The river trail itself, a lot of people just go out and back along the river, and I can see that because that's probably the most scenic. But it was part of the trail down here in the river I've never done. It was interesting. I saw some wildflowers. I didn't see any wildlife today. I didn't see one thing other than birds. No lizards, no rabbits. I was kind of surprised I didn't see more wildlife, actually. Maybe it's because the sun wasn't out. June gloom, I guess. Or May gray, last day of May. But anyway, it was a good adventure. I enjoyed it. It's only 12:40, so it took me about 3 hours. And I don't know how far I did, but it was quite a bit. It was a lot more than I think I bargained for. But anyway, I'm going to go back to the Jeep, have some refreshments, and then head home. But anyway, I didn't put together that Yosemite video because it's got a lot in it. It's our 8-mile round trip hike up into the top of Yosemite Falls, and Jerry and I's venture, our wet venture to the Mist Trail, to the viewing overlook of Vernal Falls in Yosemite. So there's a lot to it, and this will be a little easier to edit and get out there. So I think you'll enjoy this one, and that'll give me a little more time to get the Yosemite stuff together. You're not going to want to miss the Yosemite one because I got some phenomenal footage. Well, anyway, I'll catch you next time in this edition of the Journal. Be sure and click and subscribe, and tell your friends about Anthony's channel here, on YouTube and see if we can get to 1,000 subscribers. We got about 860 right now, and let's see if we can get 1,000. Well, anyway, take care, and I'll see you down the trail. Bye-bye.